This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of their affiliated organizations.
Hey everyone, Heather here.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Ryan.
We're here today to talk about every town has a story. Every story leaves a mark, and some marks still move. We're here to talk about mythical creatures and haunted stories throughout New England. Today we're going to dive in some of the research that we've done to talk to you, and we would love to hear your stories. Be sure to reach out to us and let us know if you have a haunted story in any state or town. We look forward to hearing that. So what's been going on, Ryan? What's been going on, Lisa? It's been Christmas and a whirlwind of lots of things going on with the new year.
That's true.
Let's let the birthday boy start off.
Well, Lisa, that was funny what happened with the birthday. I don't know if we want to share that.
We should. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, all right. So I guess I could share two things. So it was my birthday on December 30th. It was funny because for some reason, Lisa's social media, well, just the Facebook, right?
Facebook, yeah.
Well, okay, at least it's only Facebook. At least it's not everything else. Like it somehow changed your birthday to my birthday. I don't know how that even happened.
I started getting messages from family, my cousin down in Georgia and a friend down in Norwich, like, I happen to know your real birthday, but happy second birthday. And I'm like, what are we talking about? And my cousin said, yeah, on Facebook, it says that your birthday is December 30th, 1986. Now, while I would love to claim I was born in 86, not the case. Again, old lady of the group here. But I said, that's weird. I didn't change it. Facebook changed my birthday to December 30th. And come to find out, that's your birthday, Ryan.
It was so bizarre. I've never seen that happen before. So I don't know.
Talk about a connection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Heather, did it change? It didn't change your birthday, right?
Just no, nobody wished me a happy birthday.
Okay, good.
Although I don't mind second birthdays, but that's all right.
I don't either.
Yeah. The second thing that happened though on my birthday, which I'm glad we figured that out though. I'm glad it's all settled now. But still don't know how it happened, but at least you're able to change it back. So the second thing that happened was actually on my birthday too. I was upstairs in the living room with the dog, and I heard a young woman just say, "Hey," and I was like, "Okay, like what?" And I thought it was my roommate who was downstairs in her room. So I called back and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And then no response. And then I went to the stairs and I asked my roommate, I'm like, did you say something? Because I heard someone say, "Hey." And then she's, without any hesitation, she's like, "It must have been a spirit because I didn't say anything." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." So I think
Probably your sister.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking it's probably my sister just saying hi and happy birthday. So it was pretty cool.
I love that.
Yeah. But Lisa, did you have anything interesting happen?
Well, Happy New Year, first of all, to everybody. I mean, we just had friends over for New Year's and things like that, but I have to say, I have been struggling with one of my cats recently. My Mr. Odin, who is, of course, the most precocious of the pair, just like people get stir crazy in the winter, staying in all this time and stuff, I think Odin is stir crazy. He has been into everything. And I mean, the cartoony thing of like cats get up on top of tables and knock things off kind of stuff. They stare at you and then they knock it off on purpose. I swear to God, this is what the cat's doing.
Really?
I've had cats knock things off just because it's what they do, but jumping up and then looking at me, meowing and like whapping something off, like I'll do this now. and just running around more than just zoomies and attacking on his brother, not maliciously, but like, let's play, and Sully complaining. And I've been really dealing with a cat issue. Like,
Wow.
yeah, Odin's been very demanding, and I can't seem to find enough interactive toys for him. I mean, granted, I'm babysitting a lot, so I'm not home as much anymore, and I'm sure he's missing the presence of me being around. And he's now taken to sleeping in the bed with me, which he never did before. And
Oh,
now he's super close. So yeah, something is up with Mr. Odin, and he's very clingy. He's always been my cat and around, both of them have been, and needing to be in the same room, but this is going beyond, and yeah, it's kind of different, kind of different. I've been dealing with cat issues, so if anybody has any good ideas for a cat that needs to be constantly entertained and is a FOMO cat, let me know. Drop us a line, kind of thing. Yeah. What about you, Heather?
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking of like everything that's been going on, and it's just like kind of a whirlwind. Like this whole holiday season, it's like poof, we're struggling to like get everything put together, and then now it's over. No, I don't have anything like very interesting to talk about. Just
Your New
kind
Year's,
of going about
how were the
what?
lobster for New Year's? Did you win?
Oh, we did not do lobster races, unfortunately, but that's okay. But it was a great lobster. We had a great time. You know, it's always great to get together with family. In years past, we have done lobster races. Speaking of which, good shout out for Lynn Ferreira. Thank you for subscribing. We're happy to have you on board at Ready to Connect, and we look forward to interacting with you. Love you to dearly there, Lynn. And Lynn is usually a part of the lobster races. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do that this year. So, but it's been a whirlwind, and I'm looking forward to 2026 being a great year. I did my year ahead spread with my tarot cards and hoping that they're right. It's going to be a great year because
Yeah,
we're
my year ahead.
numerology at number one.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. My
Yeah.
year
Well, think
ahead
about it.
out.
2026 breaks down in numerology into the number one. So we're literally at year one.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
new beginnings and whatnot.
I was pleased with my year ahead spread too. And before we even get into our content, you are right. Let's do some shout outs to, well, we have Lynn Ferrer that joined our Patreon family as an enthusiast. Thank you so much. And also to Kathleen Alshay, who joined our Patreon community as an enthusiast. Welcome to our Patreon family. And we look forward to anyone else who's interested in subscribing over at Patreon. There are 3 tiers of subscription, supporter, enthusiast, and I think the last one, champion. Uh, but anywhere from $1 up, I believe, to $10 is the supporting, and we are grateful for you. So, yeah. And one other shout out, we will be doing a live taping of our Ready to Connect podcast on May 4th. It's a Monday evening from 6 to 8 in Coventry at the Millbrook Place facility. It's a town facility. It's behind the Akron Electric Building, across the street from Bidwell Tavern. You can register for your seat there at SerenityGroveCenter.com. Under the events tab, you'll find it listed and you can register there. And I believe Artist Haven Media, Ryan, your business has a link up for it as well.
Yes, correct. Yeah, if you go to artisthavenmedia.com and then go to the podcast tab and then click on Ready to Connect, it'll be right there in the events.
Yeah. So we look forward to meeting some of the people who have been listening to our podcast and interacting with you during that live taping. Yeah. So now that that's done, let's get on with our content, shall we? Who'd like to share? So each one of us did a little bit of a deep diving in casting a wide net to different hauntings, mythical creatures, folklore, things like that in the New England area, and New England covering anywhere from Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. There's many stories and many things to kind of deep dive into. And so we each kind of took a little bit of our favorites, and this is not going to be a one-parter. This is definitely going to go into 2 parts. There's so much to delve into. So who would like to begin?
I'll start. Or if Ryan, you want to start, go for it.
You can start, Heather.
Okay.
Yeah.
So every year I go away up to New Hampshire, kind of go off grid, go hiking, and take the week to just kind of decompress and whatnot. And one of my favorite things to do is to go into local shops that are locally run and not big corporate. And I love purchasing like haunted books, like the haunted town books and the ghost stories of that town. And one of the books I picked up was by Thomas D. Agostino, and I apologize if Thomas does actually listen to this, that if I, offended you by saying your last name wrong. But it is Thomas D. Agostino. He wrote Haunted New Hampshire. And one of the things that stood out to me, because I love theater, I love going to the theater, I love old theaters. I find them fascinating with their craftsmanship and whatnot. Bygone era of woodworking and that we don't see necessarily today. And one of the stories that stood out to me was the Colonial Theater in Laconia, New Hampshire. It was built in 1915. It's located right on the main street of the town, and it hosted live shows for centuries and movies. And the haunted lore of this is that staff and visitors really report there's clear reports of disembodied footsteps and voices. Certain people experience the ghosts trying to speak to them by using flickering lights, and doors move, and not just because they're weighted doors like they did in the old days. It's just a general presence. Some people find it very eerie, some people find it very calming. It depends on the atmosphere, I suppose. Especially if it's dark and empty, it could feel probably eerie, but there's a lot of claims that they see a shadowy male they see on the stage performing. And I think that's phenomenal. I would love to know if anybody's been there to the theater in Laconia, because I would love to know if this ghost that they're seeing, this gentleman that's up there, if he's a residual energy, meaning it's just happening because it happened for so long that there's a residual feeling to it. Or I would love to know if this is actually a ghost that they have interacted with. I know paranormal investigators have gone to this theater, and they have reported like feeling watched, and they sometimes feel like they need to leave quickly. But I would love to hear someone else's take on a century old theater, and maybe this theater in particular. It's a bygone. It's something that doesn't get used in the society of digital age, right? Where we're actually going and seeing performances, which I absolutely love to do. I think there's a lost art in the fact of digital experiences taking some of that away from us. So yeah, definitely reach out to us and let us know some of your moments, especially if you've been to this Colonial Theater.
That's really cool. I remember seeing, I don't remember which show it was, but talking about haunted theaters, and that seeing spectrals on the stage performing is something that happens, I think, in more than one haunted theater that I've read about. I would think that if I was a ghost, I'd want to get up on stage. Why not?
Well, personally, I know you, Lisa, that you do love to sing, and you have sang in your past and played piano and whatnot. So yeah, absolutely. I could fully imagine you later in years as a ghost up on a stage singing us a great tune.
Been a long time since I sang in front of people, and it was mostly in church, but yeah. Well, in front of people. I mean, I sing to my grandson every day that I see him, but yeah.
It's really cool that they're seeing the ghosts on stage and perform, if they're performing, singing, or what. That would be so fascinating to see that in person.
Let's go road trip.
I know. I can only imagine what it would be like. It'd be so cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you get any indication of when the last sighting of a ghost on stage was happened there in the theater? Did it give you any You remember picking up any of that in your research?
As I was reading, I believe the last sighting was into 2023,
Yeah,
but I don't
recent.
know, or maybe, yeah, it's fairly recent. Like people feel this, pretty much anybody that's sensitive, I guess, is walking in there, is what I got the gist out of his writings of that. He's not the only one that has gone there and witnessed information. Like there are a lot of people that have gone there and witnessed. So there could be even 2025 sightings. So if you're listening to this and you saw something recently, we'd love to hear about that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'll talk about one of the things I deep dived into if you like.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
I too, like Heather, I do like to purchase the area books for ghost stories or hauntings or oddities and things like that. And somewhere I picked up Haunted Connecticut, and I figured I'd start with my home state and take a look at what around oddities in Connecticut. Growing up not growing up, I didn't grow up in Connecticut, but living in Coventry, we hear stories about the Hale Homestead. I think every historical place has its own little haunting story. Hale Homestead being not any different. And I wanted to do something a little bit beyond just the Hale Homestead because it's sort of in my backyard. And I went looking through this book, which started me researching and deep diving online. And what struck me is the mention of the Green Lady, of Burlington, Connecticut. And she's been seen at the Seventh Day Baptist Cemetery, also known as the Green Lady Cemetery. And I just started thinking like, okay, Green Lady, we hear a lot about the White Lady. I've heard about the Blue Lady. I'm wondering like how many ladies are there out and around that are haunting places, but the Green Lady, I did a little research on her and went a little deep dive, and I found as early as just October of this past year, 2025, I think one of our news, might have been Fox News or something, did a little report about the Green Lady of Burlington, and it was around Halloween, so you can, understand why they would do it. But the story of the Green Lady dates back to the 1800s. Apparently, a woman named Elizabeth, spelled with an S, not a Z, Elizabeth Palmiter, I think was her last name. She is the Green Lady, the spirit known as the Green Lady. And the way it goes, her husband, I believe his name was Paul. No, not Paul. Paul Miter, Benjamin Paul Miter. They were actually parishioners of the Seventh Day Baptist Church. And the way it goes is in April of, I believe it was 1800, there was like a freak snowstorm. And Benjamin decided to set out to the town to get supplies for his family for this unexpected winter that was coming. And while he was gone, he walked into town, and while he was gone, the snow got so much worse, he didn't come back right away. He decided to wait it out. But Elizabeth got worried, so she went looking for him. And as the story goes, she went off the path and drowned in a swamp. She put on her cloak over her favorite green dress, which is why she glows green. That's how the folklore of the story goes. And because she was drowned and then she was found, she is known to be haunting that area, showing up in that area as a green mist, sometimes fully forming. And when people see her, she smiles and then kind of dissipates. So it's not really like a scary haunting in a cemetery, but it is a green mist that you're supposed to look for. And I guess it's green because she was wearing her favorite green dress. So I found that kind of interesting. And apparently there have been sightings of this green mist as recent as 2025. So part of me says, I want to go to the Burlington area to the Seventh Day Baptist Cemetery. It's found, if anybody's interested, it's found on a dirt road called Upson Street in Litchfield Hills of Burlington. So I don't know, see if there's a green mist. It doesn't seem to make a difference of when she appears. It could be during the day. But yeah, and I guess it's not overly frightening to anybody. But when she does appear, she tends to smile and then dissipate. Interesting. And I guess it's surmised that she's still looking for her husband, and that's why she's still in that area. I'd be very curious to know if anybody has seen the Green Lady. You could definitely reach out. I would love to hear about it. Maybe that could be a road trip. That's certainly closer.
It's much closer.
I was just thinking the same thing.
And you know what? Then I did, I'm like, how many Green Ladies are there? And just for ha-has, I did find another one. Supposedly, back in New Hampshire, it has its own spectral figure, and she's described with green attributes too. It's a ghost of Mary Wallace in Henniker. She's apparently a tall woman with red hair and glowing green eyes. And she protects her former home and is seen near her grave at the Center Cemetery. She is considered very friendly, kind, a protector. So I guess it's not necessarily a tragic figure like Elizabeth dying in a swamp, but there's a protective nature around Mary Wallace in Henniker. But if you were to actually search Green Lady, the one in Burlington, Connecticut shows up most prominently. Interesting, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we should definitely check it out.
yeah. Definitely check it out. That's one of the things I found. Yeah. I found interesting. So.
No, that's definitely
All right, Ryan.
especially
All right, Ryan. What did you dig up?
Oh yeah. So, I went down a different path of I was curious as to what creatures could be around in New England, and when I looked up, I was just curious out of what could be in Connecticut, perhaps, and there was one called I'm gonna butcher this name probably, but Glawacus.
How do you spell it?
It's Glawackus. But it's a combination of Glastonbury because it's found in Glastonbury, Connecticut, and the word wacky. so, so that's why I was like, okay, this is interesting. What's going on with this? But so it's a they're saying it's a legendary fearsome creature found in Glastonbury, Connecticut. It started appearing in 1939, which I've always been fascinated with that time period as well, so I found it interesting. But it's described as a mixture between a bear, panther, and lion. It's known for terrifying screech, blindness, and memory wiping eyes.
Whoa.
Yeah, it has powers too. So,
Wow.
yeah, that's interesting. So basically, they're saying it could be possibly misidentified as a large cat or one of those Fisher cats. And oh yeah, but it's representing a classic fearsome critter of tales that spark curiosity. So it was originally first reported actually in the Hartford Courant in 1939. Once again, its appearance is like a shadowy beast described as part bear, panther, lion with glowing eyes. Yeah, let's see. And it supposedly erases memories if you look into its eyes.
Well, how would you know that?
That's a good question. Yeah, maybe you see
If I
it.
saw the creature and it wiped my memory, how would I know that I saw the creature?
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? Maybe it wipes your memory and then you're like, why am I here? I already forgot why I'm here. And then someone else reminds you, oh yeah, you were gonna go look for that creature.
Maybe.
But
It's like deja vu.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. But apparently, like
I think I've been here.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to strike out and find the Glacawakis. Glacawakis? Glacawakis. And I'm telling you, I'm going to go out and find it. And then when I come back and you say, did you find it? And you'll say, no, well, I don't remember if I found it or not. And then you will know that I found it because it wiped my memory.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And this became like a whole thing because people were reporting that their dogs were getting chased. Some animals were vanishing because of this. So it led to actually like a large hunt in Glastonbury, Connecticut for
Wow.
this animal. And it was reported once again in the Hartford Courant, I believe. Um, they had like a whole article, talking about the search for this creature, and they even, staged that they found one, and yeah, so just trying to calm everyone down.
Oh,
I
because people are
love
like getting all upset, so they
Yeah,
staged it.
yeah, they actually staged.
like the guys in England who did the fake crop circles. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
funny. But
yeah.
what's interesting is Glastonbury does have so many ghost stories,
Mhm.
especially around the older parts of Glastonbury, up near, Hopewell or Cotton Hollow Falls and stuff like that, down towards the river. It's really fascinating, and I would hope that somebody that lives in Glastonbury has witnessed this. They reach out to us. That'd be
Oh,
cool.
absolutely. Well, if they remember that they witnessed it,
Yeah, well,
sometimes
yeah,
when
there
yeah,
we go again with that. I deja vu. Like, I think I've been here, and your memory was wiped.
yeah,
That's funny. It's not funny, but it's like fascinating the folklore that's coming as we read through all these different stories. And, you know, it's not our opinion that we're reading. And like, I would love to hear other opinions out there about the folklores that they know about that we don't know about yet. Again, this is part one, so we have a lot of digging to do. I mean, there's lots of stuff out there. So any help would be great to talk about.
So my opinion of the Clackawacus is that it's somebody's made up story to kind of explain maybe something that they had done. I don't know.
ah, okay,
Oh, that really happened because this creature came and, I don't know. To me, the Glackawaka sounds more made up than maybe like the Green Lady, because I think there's multiple accountings recently of a Green Lady. Have there
right.
been any recent accountings of seeing the Glackawakas?
Not that I saw. No, it was mostly just the information was surrounding around the 1930s.
Was it like a folklore thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Heather, you find anything else up in New Hampshire?
Yeah, there's it's full, it's riddled. It's in I like every state, right? Every state, every town has their own kind of haunted ghost stories. There was one that stood out to me. I love Italian food and always supporting my Italian heritage. And um, there was one in Manchester, New Hampshire, printed again by the Thomas D'Agostino about Bob Shaw's Italian sandwich shop. And so I already told my vacation buddy we're gonna have to go to Manchester because we gotta check out this Italian shop. It's apparently haunted, where members of staff have gone in there, cut meat for the deli for the day, and like turned around and the meat's been scattered across the kitchen and nobody's there. And hell yeah, nobody can throw my salami around. Like it'd be fun. And like I guess there's a lot of different spontaneous like um talking, then nobody's there, and there's actual visual cues that they have. And so I guess the shop is pretty old. It's located in on Elm Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. And like there's lots of reports of different incidents where just occurrences happening in the bathroom, in the kitchen, even in like the little dining area. um so that's definitely something I'm going to put on a bucket list when we go up to New Hampshire next year and see if we can get maybe an EVP or an actual sighting, and then we can report it back here on the podcast.
Wow, that'd be cool. You get a
Yeah,
sandwich too.
yeah, if they have gluten free.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That'd be cool to get footage of, meats flying through the air.
Yes, me eating my sandwiches like roast beef flying
Yeah,
by
there
my
you go.
head.
Yep.
Or good old capicola, like coming down with some mozzarella cheese. All right, onto my plate.
Oh,
It
you
makes me
know
hungry,
what?
man.
Yeah, if they could put it on your plate for you, like that'd be great.
Yes, I would truly be impressed at that point, what Spirit can do.
Yeah.
What was the latest like sighting in that area? Do you know? In the sandwich shop, did it say?
No, this story didn't list out the last time there was a sighting in there. Maybe through some research I could, and our next taping I can bring back that information if I can find it. Um, there's no listing in particularly about this one, uh, when the recent sighting was.
No. Yeah. But it's definitely worth the road trip to get a sandwich. I'm good.
Sure, why not?
I did a little bit more of a I went down the Creature Avenue a little bit too, Ryan. And something caught my eye in the book I was reading. It said Bigfoot of Litchfield. And I'm like, Bigfoot of Litchfield. I didn't think Bigfoot, I mean, really was in the New England or in Connecticut anyway. And so, and the story that was described in the book was back in the 1800s. I'm thinking, oh, so long ago, that can't be really for real. So I did a little deep dive and I went down this big rabbit hole, and I'm saying that. And we were talking before we started our recording, and we decided that Bigfoot needs to be its own podcast. But I just want to give a little bit of, I found it fascinating. I did not know this existed, but there is the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, the BFRO. Did you know this? And
No.
they are in charge of collecting sightings of Bigfoot all over the
Really?
place. Yeah. So it's this huge organization apparently. And they have a map of where sightings happen. And did you know? So I just clicked on New England, right? Since we were doing New England. And I was flabbergasted by how many Bigfoot sightings. Now they classify their sightings as either Class A or Class B. Class A is an actual, I see a creature, right? An account of seeing a creature. And Class B would be the evidence of a creature, like a footprint or howls and yowls that big feet or Sasquatch or what it make, or what they call tree knocking. Do you know about the tree knocking? They knock on trees as a way of sending signals to other Bigfoot or Sasquatch. I didn't know that. So that would be considered a Class B. Well, all the Class A and Class Bs, there have been five sightings in Rhode Island, Class A or B, 5. There have been 11 in Vermont. Yeah, I thought Vermont would have quite a bit. New Hampshire has had 16. Maine 21, and I thought there'd be a lot more in Maine because you're getting more remote, right?
Right.
Connecticut has 27.
What?
27, and Massachusetts 37.
Huh.
Now, whether the people are just more forthcoming to talk about their stories in Connecticut and Massachusetts, and let's say maybe people in Maine are a little bit more closed off, I don't know. But I just thought that was interesting. And then I went to the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization website, and I just looked up Connecticut. The county that we live in, Tolland County, no listings or sightings at all on the BFRO, none.
Really?
The one that has the most is Litchfield County, which would make sense as our northwestern area, more, in the hills, the mountains, the woods. The most recent accounting they have listed on the BFRO is from December of 2024 in New Haven County. And it's a Class A late night sighting by a motorist. And you can actually go to the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization website. You can click on the different counties and they pull up the sightings. You can click on the sightings and read the information that they've collected. You can read their interview, all these different things. And I have to say that it's really compelling to read the information that's there. People that have, when I was reading about these sightings that these people are making, that they are seeing creatures that are definitely furry, that are bipedal, they stand on 2 legs, chasing after deer in a field, smelling. Apparently they have quite a stench to them. And then tree knocking. I actually went down, I watched a YouTube video of some guy hearing the tree knocking and his response. And I'm listening to tree knocking, I'm like, sounds a little bit like a woodpecker, but not. It was hard to describe for me. I just found, but a lot of the stuff that they find and these interviews are really compelling. So I'm very interested and excited when we decide to do a deep dive into Bigfoot, Yeti, Sasquatch, and we firmly are asking anybody out there that's had a sighting or an experience to please reach out to us. And we keep saying that to reach out to us. We should probably share our email, which is readytoconnectpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, reach out to us if you have anything you can share with us. We would love to be able to talk with you and maybe even talk with you on the podcast. That'd be great. But I went down a rabbit hole and I was fascinated. 27 sightings in Connecticut. None in my own county. We have a moose, but we don't have a Bigfoot, apparently.
I never would have thought that Connecticut would have that many. That's incredible.
Yeah, or at least reported, right?
True.
There could be more in these other areas to me that seem a little bit more remote, like the northern Vermont, New Hampshire, or Maine, but not reported. I just find it fascinating that there's some sort of creature running around there that hasn't really been known about well enough by the scientific community, maybe. Is it an animal? Is it not? I mean, if you look down, I went a little bit down, but we'll save it for the Bigfoot podcast theme that we do about Native American thought about Bigfoot and what they think it is, which is not an animal. So it's really kind of interesting. I don't know, it caught my eye in Litchfield. I'm like, here in Connecticut? And like, yeah, here in Connecticut. I mean, these are recent sightings. We're not talking about back in the 1800s on that BRRO. We're talking like 2022, 2023. Really kind of compelling stuff.
Wow.
Because, yeah.
I had the opportunity while you were explaining what you were looking up, and very exciting. I'm absolutely a huge Bigfoot fan. Many of my members and family are huge Bigfoot fans. We have long conversations about them, actually, from all aspects. But I had a chance to do some research on the Italian Grinder Shop, and as of 2011, the Union Leader, which is a newspaper in New Hampshire, reports that there were sightings at this shop.
Yeah.
So it's not recent, but it's still in this decade.
I wouldn't call it historic, right? It's not a historic sighting. It's recent enough.
Yeah. Well, it's been happening historically, but as of 2011 was the last written, published piece of that somebody has experienced something at the Italian Grinder Shop.
Cool.
So I thought I'd fill that in case I forget for future episodes.
Yeah.
I think there's so many aspects about how you guys are discovering Bigfoot, not just in Connecticut, but all over the world. And literally all over the world, there are claims of seeing a Yeti, a Sasquatch, whatever it may be called. Every kind of different region has different names for Bigfoot, and everybody kind of has a theory out there. So when we do start digging into the Bigfoot theory, I hope everybody will help us put this together. But like, there is a spiritual aspect of Bigfoot that's out there. There's like the physical aspect of like people seeing Sasquatch, Yeti, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it, that they're actually have families and go through the, mountains in Washington and somewhere where it hasn't been overgrown and populated. It's all over the world and it's incredible. I'm looking forward to putting those pieces together for our listeners and engaging our listeners to help us with that too.
Absolutely. I will tell you, the state in our country that has the most sightings of Bigfoot is, you mentioned already, Heather, is Washington State, with 731 Class A or B sightings. That's a lot. Far more than the next one, which would be 250. So Washington State's a hotbed for Bigfoot.
Absolutely.
Road trip.
And then when we get into that, road trip. And then when we dive even deeper past Bigfoot and we possibly get into unidentified flying objects, UFOs, there is a plethora of information out there, and I'm looking forward to that being a source of topic out there, just to kind of drop the seed of like, we're looking for, alien enthusiasts. And but MUFON is a huge, almost like Project Blue Book back in the day. MUFON is a organization that's out there that sends investigators to go out and still to this day investigate unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, and AKA aliens. Um, these people clearly can prove that we're not alone in this world. So it's going to be very exciting in future, um, going forward too, with all our research.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I find this stuff fascinating. I find it fun to think about. I mean, before even meeting Heather, I would watch things on TV about unexplained phenomena or mythical creatures or folklore, expeditions that are being done to kind of like find the Bigfoot or find whatever. And I've always found it fascinating, always found it fascinating. So, I mean, this stuff really kind of jazzes me up.
I know, because there's mythical creatures all around the world, including in our own little backyard. So it's exciting. It's exciting to go into a direction of not just, it's not always taken seriously by everybody, but it's fun to explore the different theories out there and hear the opinions of others.
Yeah.
That's true. And adding on to that too, if as we kept saying throughout this episode, if there's any listener out there who wants to submit maybe a story, or I mean, if you want to come on and we can talk with you, that'd be fantastic. But if you just want to send us an email or a message telling us what happened and sharing your story, we'd be more than happy to read it in the episode as well.
Yeah.
And if you're not local, right, Brian and Lisa, if anybody listening is not local and wants to come onto the podcast and talk with us and join in our banter and conversations, we can do it by Zoom. So you don't even have to worry about taking the trip to Connecticut.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So any other stories you guys looked up, or what's going on over there? I mean, I could spend all day talking about like all these different stories that I found in New Hampshire, but I'd love to hear what else, if anybody else found something else.
I focus mostly on the Green Lady. And of course, the Bigfoot rabbit hole I went down took quite a bit of my research time. And then, of course, Hale Homestead. I mean, if you're in Coventry, Connecticut, Hale Homestead has its own stories there. They do something, I think, every October called What Goes Bump in the Night, might be the name of it. Or they do something every October where they will take you through the homestead, I believe, by candlelight, and talk about the different ghost stories and sightings. I'm sorry, I'm distracted because I have Zuni cats and Odin is knocking everything he can off my sofa table right now. Like I told you. Something's happening in the house. Whether I'm being visited or not, because, they're very sensitive creatures, these cats. So anyway, I digress. Back to Hale Homestead. And they'll talk about, the owner that's supposed to be there. I think there's a serving maid that also haunts that area. People see lights in the windows when there are none lights there. So if you're ever in Connecticut, definitely check out Hale Homestead. If they have their own ghost stories there. So that's basically
the Hale Homestead in the summertime hosts one of the largest farmers market, which is absolutely incredible. You can get everything from meat, vegetables, dessert, breads, even, clothing. It's an incredible farmers market in the summertime. So it's and they also run tours during the farmers market and after. So like if you ever wanted to come down, check out that farmers market, do your grocery shopping, and then check out a ghost story, that's the place to do it. It's interesting about the Nathan Hale Homestead. I wasn't able to locate any written documentation about Bigfoot sightings or Yeti sightings at the Yale Homestead, but I have been over the years gone to different like circle meetings and get-togethers, and I have heard others talk about how in the woods of the Nathan Hale homestead, not only can you hear Civil War fighting or encounter soldiers, even animals, horses and whatnot, that were part of that whole kind of war that happened here in Coventry, Connecticut, that they have also seen Bigfoot sightings. So anybody listening to this podcast that is from our local area and knows of someone that has had a sighting at the Nathan Hale Homestead Forest, I definitely would love to talk to you. We would love to talk to you and have you talk about that, because it is literally in Ryan and I's and Lisa's backyard. So of course we're very interested in that folklore of our own town, right? So there's lots of stories. Also in Gay City, which is that Hebron,
Yeah,
Bolton. Yeah, Gay City is also another very haunted
Central Park.
park. It's now a park. But there too, I have heard in circles in passing that there has been, which by the way, Hebron borders Glastonbury. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of the maybe Bigfoot stories that are coming out of Glastonbury might border up to Gay City and Hebron. Because that
Hey,
whole state forest goes from Hebron all the way into Glastonbury.
maybe that's where the Glackawakas is.
Maybe.
Ooh, let's go find it.
Maybe we're
Yeah.
finding a connection here.
Yeah, maybe that's where the Glackawakas is.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
there-
I do have
It's a
my own
fascinating
story.
subject.
Yeah, I have my own story of a experience up in Maine, but I'll save that for part 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
While we were talking here, I did also look up that the Glackawakas, or however we're calling it, there has not been any recent sightings. It's only been around like the 1930s that they claim they saw it. But if anyone has seen it, or maybe you've heard it, hopefully, well, I guess
I still remember.
if
I still
you
remember.
yeah, it would be fantastic to hear about that story. Just out of
I wonder, Ryan, if the name is changed. Can
Ah,
you do a search? Can we do a search where it was this, but now they're calling it this? It'd be fascinating because obviously, as centuries goes on, the folklore changes or the hand down story, the names can change. Like I have noticed that in some of the other haunted books I've read and ghost stories I've read, where they used to call it this, but now it's
mm,
called that.
mm.
Um,
Yeah,
we
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that. That'll be on
Yeah.
part 2.
Yeah.
Questions.
Yep.
Questions.
Yep. This could be a cliffhanger.
Lots of questions.
There we go. There we go.
And
All right.
on that,
Well, before we sign off, I do have an affirmation for us for the start of the new year if you want to use it.
absolutely.
Sure.
Love having an affirmation.
All right. So here's our affirmation. We welcome the new year with an open heart and mind, for it brings fresh opportunities and growth. How's that?
Yeah, I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's
Oh.
a good one.
Open heart and mind for all the new opportunities and growth that's going to happen this year. That's a great way to start the year off. So that being said, we look forward to connecting with you next time. Thank you for listening, right?
Absolutely. Great to talk to everyone. Have a great week and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to Ready to Connect. If you're interested in exclusive behind-the-scenes content, be sure to like, share, and follow us on social media by searching for Ready to Connect Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And for those looking to further support our podcast, consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/readytoconnectpodcast. And until next time, get ready to connect.